Welcome everyone to another video, and in this video we're going to be doing part 2 of using Articuno in Ultra League. And in this set of battles, I'm going to demonstrate effective strategies that trainers used against me, and that I really want to highlight. There's some really good ones, especially this first one was a very excellent gameplay on ways how you can counteract Articuno. Okay, so actually maybe not this first one's fine. Obviously, Malmetal is going to be a very, very good pick. And obviously the counter switch into Giratina is excellent. I'm not sure it's this one. Actually, maybe it's the last bet. Anyways, there's a set of battles. So obviously the effective counter switch, leading a steel type is a good counter to, obviously be careful of people that decide the reverse order, like lead the fighter or the anti-steal, then have Articuno in the back, which is also a counter strategy. So I know I'm not able to get to the Mega Horn, so I'm just going to go for the close combat. And that barely does anything to Giratina, but it puts it down to like 40%, but it has quite a bit of energy. So looking to go back into Articuno and build up a little bit of energy. And going to shield likely this Ancient Power. And going to look to hit the Icy Wind as soon as possible because I don't want to get hit by unshielded Ancient Power. So they did a good job of, and then switching out into Swampert, and then I'm going to be met by Gyarados. So perfect team combination, building up in front of a little bit of energy, so they're going to be able to comfortably win this match, and as well take a shield advantage while not preserving the Giratina, which I think is a very effective strategy. And there's not really much I can do at this stage. So really, I think leading the steel type is definitely is one way to counter the strategy that I was playing. So I'm actually desperately trying to sack Articuno in some sort of attempt, but unfortunately it's going to be way too late. I'm going to be hit by this rock slide, which Malmetal is going to easily be able to take out Articuno, or almost take out Articuno, and then be able to Thunder Shock down. So really nice team composition by my opponent that basically covered everything that I had. So GG. Yeah, there's some players that played against me very effectively. So again, I'm going to lead Articuno, Swampert, and Heracross. So this is kind of so they're running a Confusion variant of Cresselia. I personally prefer Confusion's better in like neutral matchups because like you're able to apply the damage. So I'm able to land the Icy Wind before their charge move, and it's actually a Future Sight, which is not great. You prefer to shield earlier charge moves because they got debuff more, but or they got debuff less, so they do more damage, so your shields work a little bit more. So but the Cresselia matchup, they decide not to shield at all, which allows them to come out in a pretty effective position. So here comes another Icy Wind, and looking to I think I shield. Where did I let it go? Yeah, I think I shield. And then look to build up a little bit more. I probably, if I was keeping better track of their energy management, then I probably could have did like a better job. So I think I decided to let this go. Yeah, and just give up switch advantage. So in this case, they just use Cresselia as a tank, and I switch over to Heracross. And then I think they have Regis Steel in the back or something. Anyways, they go for the Dynamic Punch. And they're applying a lot of pressure. And they go for the Ice Punch. And then I'm going to look to land back-to-back. Actually, I think I'm just short of back-to-back. And we're lagging a little bit. And I go for the close combat. Oh my gosh, that fast move lag is so annoying. And what do they have in the back? They have Regi Steel. Oh yeah, so that was GG in that situation. So that's actually I think the only one that I win in this set. Or I think I win 2 of 3 in this set, and the next one I do absolutely horrible. Okay, so this is the Giratina matchup. So there's a bunch of ways you can play it. So most Articuno users will shield the first charge move. So in this case, they throw the Ancient Power, but you'll see a little bit later on, people throw Dragon Claw to save a little bit more energy, and you actually need the Dragon Claw bait to win the one shield. So they immediately switch out into Cresselia, and I don't have a great counter switch to Cresselia, so that's kind of annoying. So anyways, I'm gonna be looking. Oh, it might be lagging. Can't tell. Sometimes it's like this fast move lag makes me so like weary. Oh, and then they're clearly lagging. Okay, there you go. They've caught up. Anyways, they're not gonna shield. This fast move, like, where the thing is, like, because you sometimes can't see the actual, there's like this fast move visual air, so they decide to switch out again, which again is a great strategy. I'm going to shield. So they've already burned both my shields. They have, yeah, they have 2 left still. And, yeah, based them in a kind of a tricky situation. And then Cresselia should be able to KO me beforehand, which is great for it. I think I end up winning this one as well, but I might not have won it without the lag. Anyways, they land this Future Sight, which does a boatload of damage. And now they have 2 shields, and they actually have Regirock, which I thought was pretty interesting. And so this Regirock typically carries Stone Edge and Focus Blast for the people that are running it. And what do they do? They think they Focus Blast me here. And I'm gonna build up to the close combat, and I should be in a good position. Stone Edge is probably the right move because it would be neutral and do quite a bit of damage, but able to KO with this close combat. I think they had the right idea, like cycle in and out of Pokemon, build up a little bit of energy. I think one of these matches like plays this out really effectively. Is it this one? Okay. Oh yeah, this one I just absolutely get walled in. This is the Mummy Dust, and yeah, I'm getting absolutely walled. There's like, I have a very little counterplay, so I switch out into Heracross, and I get met by the Giratina. And this one I got kind of greedy on in terms of like how much how I was trying to play it. So it goes for the Dragon Breath, which is fine, but I really should have went for the close combat, but I tried to go for the Mega Horn. And then, like, if you would have saw like last time, it would have put me a little bit closer in terms of being able to like apply more. Anyways, you'll see a little bit. And he does a really nice job. So in this case, like, I want to switch out as soon as possible, and he actually switches out and conserves his Giratina, which, like, to be honest, it doesn't really make it that big a deal, right? Because especially if I had like Armor Mewtwo, this would have been like a pretty bad switch on his side, because I would have been able to just confusion down this Poliwrath. It's a little bit risky on his end. Or if I had like, I don't know, whatever particularly walls Poliwrath. But it was definitely a nice idea, especially since he had Registeel and Giratina, like and with the shield advantage. Like, even if he came into a negative matchup, still would have been okay, but a little bit dangerous. And he switches out into Registeel and is able to take me out. Well, yeah. almost take me out there. And I'm able to apply an Icy Wind before going. But it doesn't really matter. My Swampert is almost at no health. And I get KO'd, I think, by a Flash Cannon. So again, leading the Steel type is a very effective counter strategy, but you have to be really careful of people leading fighters and then having Articuno as a switch-in, which is a really great switch-in for things that you would typically cover against the fighters or Swampert. So like leading Swampert, having Articuno in the back. All right. Okay, I think this one was an interesting one. So I'm leading Articuno, and I'm gonna shield this first Dark Pulse. This is the thing, like when you lead Articuno, it's always better to shield first, especially if they eventually shield late again. But if they decide to switch out, which this opponent does, he does a really nice job. I have no idea why I switched out. I should have stayed in that matchup. That's a very favorable matchup for me, especially since I had a little bit energy, but I'm gonna go for this close combat, which would do quite a bit of damage to Swampert, and then I think I just let this Heracross go, and I come back in with Articuno. Oh, we lag a little bit, and because I switched out, they're gonna be able to cycle again. So I think this is a very effective strategy. Is let's see, they throw the Hydro Cannon here. I can't remember. So they don't throw the Hydro Cannon. So that's the thing. Like you want to build up energy and not throw it at Articuno when you're debuffed and come back in because it's gonna be very effective. Obviously, switching out comes at a tremendous risk. Because like for example, if I had a Shift Tree or a Alolan Muck or Charm User, especially since this is Dragon Breath, then this would have been pretty bad for the Giratina. So I think they come back in with Swampert and apply the Hydro Cannon. And they have to throw it again because these Mudshots are not doing very much. And I think I end up winning this match. Okay. Do I win this match? We end up lagging quite a bit. Oh, yeah. Okay. I think I would have won this match. But they did have energy on their Alolan Muck, but their Alolan Muck was about at half. So anyways, we end up I end up airing out and end up losing this match. So that was not a great way to start the set. As you can see, I'm like waiting here excessively. I restart my app and and then I go into the next oh, nope. Okay. Well, let's just restart from here. And I end up airing out and losing the match. I think it would have been pretty close. Anyways, Articuno into... This is another good one. So I think this time they actually throw the Dragon Claw. So obviously build up to the Ancient Power, right? Just don't throw the Dragon Claw. But, no, actually, no, not this one. I personally think that if I was Giratina... I would just throw the Dragon Claw, build up the Ancient Power, and throw the Dragon Claw, because the first Ancient Power unshielded would do so much damage. So in this case, like I decided not to shield because I don't want to go down 2 shields to 0. And they throw the Ancient Power. I probably could have farmed up a little bit more. I definitely could have farmed up a little bit more in that situation, but that's quite alright. And they let it go. And they come in with into Mewtwo, which is actually not a great situation. So I decide to Icy Wind it, and then come into Swampert. This is a debuff Psystrike. It's only 25% debuff, but you can see it just still does like so much damage. And I go for the Hydro Cannon, but this is not a particularly great situation. I go for the Hydro Cannon again. Oh yeah, okay, I remember this is a very good match. So I go for the Psystrike. Oh, no, I go for the. They go. Oh yeah, I get KO'd by this Scizor, which actually puts me. And then they actually, because of like how they switched out, they just blind switched to the last Pokemon. Ends up being Registeel, and yeah, not a great situation for me. So they Flash Cannon. Oh, you know what I should have done is I should have thrown the close combat as soon as possible. Though in theory they could have shielded and they would outpace me, because then I end up having like a little bit less health, and if I had like more health, but not that it would have mattered, to be honest. Like the lock on difference would have been not that big a deal. So well played on their side. Armored Mewtwo, really kind of a tough on this team, because obviously destroys Heracross, can beat Swampert with shields up, and then applies a lot of fast move pressure onto Articuno, which obviously applies before the icy wind gets applied. So then I go into this next match. Again, this team's using Confusion Cresselia, so you can see the Confusion damage is adding up, and that's before they actually even get to a charge move. So I end up shielding. I think this ends up being like a Roar Beam, which I kind of wish I didn't shield, because every other time I shielded, it was like or didn't shield, it was a Future Sight, so that kind of sucked. So I land another Icy Wind, and I think they end up shielding this one. Yes, they do. And then I think I don't shield because it's already been like 3 or 4 stage debuff to this point. They go for the Moonblast, does almost nothing. They switch out into Gyarados, which Gyarados is also really bad for this team. So I decided to apply the Icy Wind before switching. I probably should have went for Ancient Power, thinking that they wouldn't shield, and that actually probably would have KO'd the Gyarados. Which is also a risky strategy you could do, especially if like they're not going to shield like on Charizard, or actually no, Icy Wind is neutral, but Ancient Power is super effective, so it probably would have KO'd the Gyarados. So they come into Escavalier, and they save both their shields, so like I'm pretty much done for. There's not really any play. I can't go back into Articuno because I don't have enough energy and then I'm gonna get countered down. So Heracross, what I try to do? It also has Aerial Ace, so would be super effective to Heracross. But I'm gonna resist the counters, and my counters are neutral. So really, my only play is to sack this Articuno, but it's not gonna be enough, to be honest. Like I'm not gonna be able to counter it down in like 6 or 7. It's kind of close, like. It's kind of the right idea, but it's not enough. I probably could have won. I forget their last Pokemon was Alolan Muck. Maybe. Depends. But nice play on their side. So again, leading Articuno into Giratina. This is something very common if you're going to... And they switch out immediately into Swampert. And I should have switched out into Heracross maybe. I don't know. Because I don't have a great play against this Giratina. Obviously, I can go Swampert. Swampert, obviously, I need to land the Earthquakes. I think I should have shielded the first Hydro Cannon. And... Oh, man. And then I overcharged. So stupid of me. I think that ended up costing me the match. Especially since... do they not? Let's see if they survive this. Okay, yeah, it didn't make a difference then. Well, I would have had a little bit more health. So I switch out into Heracross, and I switch out into Swampert, and this is the Dragon Breath variant. And I desperately need to land this Earthquake, and they kind of know that. So in this case, I probably should be baiting, but they end up. I just feel sometimes the bait is so obvious, but maybe it's they're so compelled to shield anyways because they don't want it near their. Oh, they make a really nice switch. I think somewhere. So I get this through, which is well, no, they shield this. they make a really nice switch, which is a very counterintuitive switch, because normally you wouldn't want to switch Earthquake onto Registeel, but they know that their Giratina is going to absolutely destroy. So then end up going into. Yeah, they know that their Giratina is going to destroy this Heracross, so really not too much play. So really nice play on their side, sacrificing the Registeel, knowing that the Giratina is the one that's going to ultimately take them home. And then they're able to Dragon Breath down, which is definitely the right play, and then land the charge move onto Swampert. So well played by my opponent. So again, I think the purpose of this is just showing some effective counter strategies and some effective play against my opponent. Again, like obviously I post a lot of like effective strategies, and those effective strategies obviously show me winning. But I also want to show like some like counter play against my teams. I think like one is like obviously building up energy and then switching out, especially after the Icy Wind is applied. Okay, so this is not particularly great. So I switch out into... Oh yeah, this team actually destroys me because I actually have no counterplay against this. And I go for the Mega Horn. And does quite a bit of damage. And I think I let this... because this is going to be a crunch, which is going to be resisted. It's not going to KO. And I think I'm not going to make it to... Well, I guess I could have made the Mega Horn, but I go for the close combat. Close combat and Mega Horn would actually do the same damage, and then they could farm up a little bit less. And what do I do here? I think I just try to farm down. I think I let this go. Just going to be a crunch. And yeah, okay. And then they do a really nice job here. Going to Registeel and absorbing the Icy Wind, which I think is a really nice play, instead of absorbing into Machamp. And they built up a little bit of energy, which is great on their side. And they go for the close combat, or not close combat, cross chop. And then I go for the Hydro Cannon. And then I think I even get beat to this next charge move. Oh yeah, that's crazy. It's crazy. Very spammy on Machamp's side. So it doesn't matter. They actually let this go. And how do I play this? I try to switch. They end up focus blasting me, and then I end up switch. Oh, I went for the bait. What would I do here? And I switch out. I'm dead, but they're able to build up quite a bit of energy by looking at this Icy Wind. But they're gonna build up way too much energy for me. Oh yeah, okay. So then here I actually didn't know the calculations. I should have went for Earthquake. I think if I go for Earthquake, I end up winning. Because I think I was like one mud shot off the Earthquake. Maybe I wouldn't have got it. If I was one mud shot off, then I would have got it. So that was more my fault for not going for the appropriate charge move. But Machamp was definitely a very nice play. So I think some like really effective counter strategies to Articuno is, especially in the lead scenario, let them throw the Icy Wind, build up energy. Like, first off, throw the cheaper charge move, because they're gonna shield most of the time if they're leading Articuno, because like that's like the effective way to play the lead matchup is like if you look in the Sims, you look in the 1-2 shield matchup, it's way better to shield the first charge move than it is to shield the later ones. Secondly, is to build up energy and then switch out, and especially switching out Icy Wind, especially if you can tank another Icy Wind, because the charge move later on is going to be more valuable. 3 is have safe switches. Obviously, when you switch, if you get counter switch into some really hard, then it might be pretty devastating to play out that way. But I think like constantly switching out, conserving energy, not throwing the charge move, thinking about like how you form your team composition, and you saw some really effective team compositions against mine and some really great play. So GG's to my opponents, and hopefully that will allow you to figure out some counterplay against how to play against Articuno, and some things that you need to keep in consideration if you are the Articuno user. Maybe you don't lead Articuno and you leave it as a switch in after someone counter switches against you. So take that into consideration. I'm going to leave it there. If you guys like this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see everyone in the next video.